The priest turns the ancient key in the crypt's door and ushers you through. He hurriedly closes it behind you, uttering a prayer for your success. As you walk amongst the tombs, your hairs stand on end as a cold, pale light drifts between the columns and coalesces into the form of a ghost.
Oh no!
It's the end of Season 2, which means it's not just me drawing, it's all of y'all.
I want to draw a big spooky ghost. I see what you mean about the black background on white.
Yeah, if you want to have a black background and draw in white on it, that's totally fun. But yeah, it's the ghost. Good about it.
I'm a pro at this.
Okay.
I can't zoom in.
Please don't zoom in.
Oh, it's gonna be really difficult. Okay.
So are you two at all familiar with the D&D ghost?
Not
moderately.
massively, to be honest.
I think we have fought one. Neil, you ran a ghost against us, I believe, didn't you?
Yeah, I have. They can be very fun.
Yes. Now, I'll talk a bit about ghosts because I'll just briefly say what they do.
Okay.
They're in challenge rank 4, not the highest thing in the book. They've not got too much health, 45. They can fly 40 feet. It's got a lot of resistances to stuff, so as you'd expect, it's resistant to basically all kinds of damage, and then immune to necrotic and cold and poison and stuff. And it can't be, it can't be grabbed, it can't be frightened, it can't be grappled. I mean, it's grappled. It can't be petrified. All sorts of kind of obvious stuff. But this thing's already it's resisting a lot of the stuff you're going to be throwing at it. It can see in the ethereal plane. That's kind of fun. It can also go into the ethereal plane, and it can enter the same square as you, but it does take damage if it ends its turn in a square in the same spot. So it can go through people. That's kind of interesting. So let's actually go into its attacks, where it actually starts getting kind of terrifying.
I'm done.
You're done. Now, Sam. Please, we've got to get through this.
Yeah.
You can start with that. I was kind of expecting this. This is why I gave you Ghost.
I put it as a placeholder. I'm trying to think of what to draw. That's actually
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe it'll become clear. Maybe you can give it some of its attacks.
Fill me in.
So its main attack, quote unquote, is Withering Touch, which is it's a +5 to hit melee attack. So got to be right next to you, and it does 4d6 plus 3 damage.
Oh,
which is pretty big. On a regular attack. It's not nothing.
I have destroyed myself already. Where's Tobene?
Big thumbs up on this guy. So as I already said, it's got ethereal, so it can enter the material plane or the ethereal plane as an action. But that does mean, obviously, if you're fighting it and it's losing, it can just go to where you can't hurt it. And that, if you're fighting it at an appropriate level, to be having this as like a single enemy or like a boss or whatever, you're not going to have like plane shift stuff, I assume.
Unlikely at level 4.
Yeah, and it's still visible, I think, when it's in either plane. But basically, it can just go, you can't hurt me now. I'm done.
It can just know better there.
Which is kind of cool. And I think one of the things I really like about the Ghost, because I really like this enemy, is like you can use it as like an early bot, a really good early boss, because it's something that you can have it turn up and probably fight it a bit, and then it goes away. And we'll go into that a bit more in a minute. I think the two most scary and most interesting abilities it has is, number one, Horrifying Visage. So whenever you enter like near it, 60 feet near it, you've got to make a wisdom save. DC 13, so not very high. And if you fail, you're frightened for a minute. And frightened's not great, and a minute is quite a long time in D&D. That's 10 turns. But if you fail the save by 5 or more, you age 1d4 times 10 years.
Oh, so good.
Which means, bear in mind, there's some races in D&D which have like a 40-year lifespan.
Very short lifespan, yeah.
Oh god, if Naylor from Tuesday D&D age, she's like a goblin.
If a goblin or what's the bird? An
Aarakocra.
Because they only have a 30-year like average lifespan, and half orcs only have like a 70 or something. Again, it can be quite bad. Like if you get a D4 and you roll a 4, now that's 40. You can get up to 40 years on your character. So that's pretty terrifying. And And the other thing about horrifying visage is it can be cured. It can be undone, but only by a greater restoration spell, and only if that happens within 24 hours of being aged.
Yeah.
So other than that,
It's pretty rough.
I guess a wish could undo it, but that's the only thing listed that can undo this, which is pretty horrifying. And then it has possession. Basically, it can possess you. Pretty cool. It's basically like a charm, but it takes it out of the fight as well.
Yeah.
It's still pretty scary because obviously it means that it's a party member or an ally, presumably, that you'll be attacking. Or of course you could have it possess maybe a minion if you wanted it to do that. That could be fun.
Or the priest who's showing you around.
Or the priest or whatever it be. Yeah. So the possession lasts until the body drops to 0 hit points as well. So it can't. I don't think it can actually make a save to break out of it once it's been possessed. Yeah, and it doesn't gain. It gains all like your stats and stuff, but it doesn't gain any of your knowledge. So it's not. It could be worse, but it's still a pretty scary thing to happen. So those are like the stats of the ghost. Yeah. The lore of it. It's pretty standard stuff. They're dead for one thing, and yeah, I know, and they're tied to a specific area. And they'll have a lot of it will be to do with how they died, is like their character. And they even have a little thing in here that says if like the party can like find out how the ghost died and have something related to that, like bring that to a fight, then that can give them an advantage. It doesn't actually have stats for it, which is I think quite fun. So like if someone drowned and then like you lure them into a place with a lot of water, that could be scary. Or like if they were, I think they give a couple of examples. They have like so the ghost of a gardener might become more vulnerable when exposed to a potent floral fragrance. Is one of the examples they give. Another interesting thing, alignment, whatever you want, unaligned or any alignment more specifically. So this the ghost it's as evil or as good as it was in life, presumably. Right. Although they're likely to be obsessed. They do have another line as well. I think the first thing it says about a ghost is unfinished business. So and it says the best way to deal with a ghost, nothing to do with fighting it, is just finish its business for it. So that could be something quite simple and quite not evil. I wish I had done this or seen this completed or whatever. Or it can be vengeance. So obviously maybe it wants you to kill someone, and I think this is what my favorite use for a ghost. For me, just comes as using it like as a low-level, unbeatable boss that they do not want to fight. Like a level 1 party, like, go fight, because ghosts in like computer games are never like that tough. Like there'll be like liches and super ghosts, but like ghost is not going to be something that you're going to be expecting to potentially one-hit kill you. No. So I think having a party like come across a ghost at like a level 1 or 2 or something. And then it giving them basically a quest, and it might be something they don't want to do, but the best way to deal with this ghost is something. It's an option. It's a way to deal with a monster that doesn't involve fighting it, and it's built into it. But you can fight it. It's just very tough. It
can also be part of a larger quest.
Exactly. Yeah. It can start off a whole chain of things. Yeah.
Who murdered old Mrs. Hickory?
Exactly. Find my killer's identity.
Yeah.
And then kill them or not. It really, really seamlessly blends like the role-playing side of D&D and the combat side really, really well. And I really like monsters which are like the stats and what they do is really well shown
reflected in
the way they fight and stuff like that. Like I talked about the Quickling the other week.
It's the case of like show not tell.
Yeah, exactly. And I do have a soft spot for all classic, and you don't get much more classic than just a ghost. Ghost. It does everything you'd expect. But again, I like how strong it is. There's nothing that scary in that bracket.
I also like that it does have that aging mechanic.
Yes.
Sometimes that can be like sometimes people want to play their young boy character. So if you have it in this situation where there is like
a way to get it undone,
a priest or part of the quest, like
yes,
to do it was always a good idea.
Definitely, I think that's kind of true for all D&D stuff. If you're choosing to have a monster there, and it does actually have like consequences, as some of them do, then as DM, it's your job, to make sure that it's not going to be annoying. That goes for like, I think if someone gets petrified, and you have like, well, you're gonna have to wait till like level 10 to like be able to deal with that. Sorry, like that's kind of on you, because you're making the game and it should be fun.
Exactly.
Even if it's hard.
What I normally rule with that is that there's like with basilisks, that it's in the lore, but also it's sometimes in the lore. You can use their blood to cure petrification. Like,
that could be cool.
With the ghost, maybe when you kill the ghost, you gain the years back, or when the ghost lays to rest.
Yeah, maybe if you get like the good end for the ghost, like because you can have it fight you and then it ages you and like that's bad, and then it like comes out of the material plane and then gives you its quest. It's like, I've cursed you.
Now
fulfill my fulfill my wish and then you'll be relieved. That could be cool. And again, like I think for like low level stuff. Because if you think about things that you're actually scared about fighting in D&D, the Tarask, because it's so legendarily stupidly strong, the Beholder, because it could just disintegrate you, and that goes for all like high-level casting monsters and such. Mummies, because of Mummy Rot. I don't think there's anything... I think people don't think about the ghost in the same way, because again, like the age thing, for some characters it wouldn't really matter. Like an elf, they live like thousands of years or whatever.
Shrug.
Wouldn't matter. Dwarves, again, it's a thing which... It's really subjective, but it's I really like that about it. I don't know, it's
quite a unique thing, especially for that kind of level as well. There's not really many things around that are doing that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. And again, like it's like he's got 45 hit points. Like that's not very much. But then again, you remember, it resists everything.
Yeah, you got to be really prepared. It's like a fight you got to be prepared for.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just can't do anything.
It's also a great low level quest to just have a ghost in the village.
Have a ghost, because again, it's character.
Can be, there's always been a ghost.
Yeah, there's the local ghost. It might not be evil. Why need it be? Yeah.
It's just annoying.
Yeah. Imagine us having, like, a party growing up in a town that has a ghost in it. And, like, maybe your party's, like, been aware of this ghost forever, but now they are, level 1, and they've become adventurers. Maybe like, well, maybe,
As boys, ghost... you take trips down to the...
Look at the ghost, yeah.
No, you take trips down to the crypts to hear it howl at night.
Yeah, and then one day, you go down there, and then it talks to you, and it says, like, hey, I've got this problem. I want to see my book published or whatever. I don't know, but the manuscript is buried. Please send it. I don't know. It could be anything, really.
You could have a ghost like that, and it could be actually happy to see someone, rather than just everyone just kind of knows about it and doesn't bother with it.
And again, I think that speaks volumes for it, because like if you think about a lot of video game stuff, ghosts are either like common enemies or they are quest givers. And I think if I were to start a level 1 campaign tomorrow,
you put a ghost in it.
I would set up the ghost as the first big villain.
Yeah,
I think is what I'd do, because it would be something that again you wouldn't want to fight at level 1, but it wouldn't necessarily want to just kill you either. A lot of monsters just like, if it beats you, it kills you. Whereas if a ghost beats you, it might then use that to, force you to do its bidding and complete its mission.
Yeah. Well, I think it's good because you can have both. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Obviously, it's all dependent on how it was killed. So you could have ghosts just like around, like in a crypt or like somewhere where like a big loads of murder happened, and they're all just like constantly like trying to get revenge, and they could just be like enemies that would be different to fight, or you could have one be like a character again. And I think obviously we've shown a little bit in this that we like monsters that can kind of almost do both.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's more basically just versatile for the DM, because you could give this 1 HP and make it a minion at a higher level.
Yeah,
I wouldn't necessarily do that just because of its mechanics would be quite complicated to have multiple of them. I think this is definitely something that is designed to sort of be 1 or 2 or something, but just because it's like it having to make a lot of checks a lot is kind of a pain.
Yeah,
and having it has an aura and stuff and keeping track of that would probably be a pain. Anyhow,
is there anything else about it?
It's undead. It doesn't need food, air, or drink, or sleep. But no, in terms of what they do, their stats are pretty flat across the board. Very little strength, a bit of dex, con, intelligence, wisdom, 10 or 2, 17 charisma. The book wants you to use them, more cleverly than just having to be a monster in a room.
Also, I believe charisma is probably there because of a lot of abilities that take control of undead use charisma saves. And they have their own free will.
Yes, there you go, yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And I guess as undead, they are quite... not unique, but they're in the intelligent undead section, which isn't, there's two kinds of undead. There's the brainless, bleh, and then there's the intelligent ones who usually have some agenda.
There's kind of this subset of ethereal undead that there's quite a few of, and they're always like tormented, and maybe ones you can do deals with, like the Banshee. Is another one along these lines, which we'll probably do a whole episode on.
Yeah, definitely.
But again, it's a spectral undead that was probably an elf that usually... I mean, in the preview adventure for 5th edition, Lost Mines of Fendelver, there is a Banshee that you're supposed to bring a comb to and ask a question to.
Right.
Like, it's not just an enemy. It's a powerful, force that's in the world. And,
definitely,
makes the whole place more magical. And there's also, again, along the idea of a spectral undead that maybe have business, there's revenants that exist.
Yeah.
Revenants are clearly able to enact what they want to do, whereas the fact about ghosts is that they're kind of impotent in ability to affect their change.
They're bound to a place presumably where they cannot finish their business as well, is the thing, yeah.
Exactly.
I like that the book straight up says... it rewards players for being smart and interacting with the world, because if you figure out why it's dead or what it wants, then that gives you a huge advantage.
Yeah,
which is really cool. And again, it's not. It's one of those monsters that makes me think oh, man, why in D&D do you spend so much time fighting a horde of skeletons? Because and to be fair,
you need both.
A big fight with a horde of skeletons is great fun and the fighting of D&D is really good fun.
Yeah.
But I just think, man, the ideal, in your head, the perfect campaign with the perfect players who are all really invested and really, doing everything they can in terms of, interacting with your world. A ghost would be really good for that. Because they would, they wouldn't be just oh, it is a ghost.
Kill it.
I hit it.
Hit it with sword.
You can easily just have the ghost...
you can just kill him.
Yeah, you can also just easily have the ghost not fight back.
Exactly, because it can just be in the ethereal plane. You can force your players to think if you really want.
That's a little mean to players. Players usually want to enjoy things.
I know. Again, yeah.
Players do normally want to be there,
but it does mean that if you do have just you can just take away the option of we just attack it.
Yeah, which is good
because the book doesn't specifically say what vulnerabilities it would have if you know what it is, but I would, for example, say, as an easy one, it can't go into the ethereal plane if you haven't got its what killed it near it or something.
Disadvantage on its attacks because it's distracted.
Disadvantage attacks.
You could Father Gascoigne it.
Oh yeah.
With the music box.
Yeah. Have it be stunned. Yeah.
I think my pitch is done.
Yeah, you guys.
I've got 2 pictures.
Oh, I like these both. He's got a pitchfork.
So my ghost is Farmer Wilkins.
Okay, yeah.
So basically, there's a story about how there's a terrible creature that lies within the basement of an old farmhouse, and he wields a terrible trident, and he has a sack of heads.
Oh,
and he terrorizes those that visit the old Wilkins's farm. But it turns out that it's just Father Wilkins with a bag of turnips. And a pitchfork, and he has some unfinished business in his dungaroos, and he's got some unfinished business with whoever I think burnt down his farm because it's probably wreckage.
Yeah.
And because then that could lead into a kill quest where maybe it was raided by goblins.
Definitely, yeah. And it has a really nice sort of homey feel to it, if you know what I mean. It makes me think of Fable.
Yeah, it's very Fable.
In a nice way.
Yeah, he's got his sack of turnips.
He's got a sack of turnips. That's cool. I like his hat. And Sam, tell me about
my guy is
Jean Jacket Man.
My Jean Jacket guy. He's Radical Craig, and
oh jeez,
he unfortunately passed away the night before he was going to go to the best party ever. So he's constantly annoying people, trying to make them throw him a really nice party. And then the other one is just my little ghost couldn't possibly be this cute.
He's very cute. How did this ghost die?
I don't know.
Too cute. Looked at itself in the mirror. And died.
I kind of just finished this one, and then I was like, we're still talking about ghosts, so I just went back to what can I do with this one.
Again, I think Ghost was one of those ones where I wanted to see, because we had Flying Sword, and I think swords are pretty hard to draw. Like, good.
Good swords are hard to draw.
Yeah. And Ghost was like one of those where, you could just draw a little cartoon ghost, or, I think you've both done pretty well, admirably, I'd say. Because you've given them a bit of character, both of yous.
I gave mine a horrifying visage.
He does have a horrifying visage. That is a thing it does say.
Oh, really?
It doesn't specify that it's not a deliberate thing, the horrifying visage. So if you have a friendly ghost, it doesn't say that, like if your party encounter it, they might still age, just out of fear. Even if it's not.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Oh, guys.
Guys, come back! I'm sorry. I haven't had. I can't see myself in the mirror.
You can't approach me.
That's really sad.
Anyway, I like it a lot. Number wise, I've really talked it up a lot, and I mentioned the other day that I might give it something very high, and I might just go with like an 18 because I really like the Ghost.
I get ya.
I really like Ghost. I like a lot of the undead actually. Now that I think about it.
The undead in D&D are one of its strongest points, and it's why we've done them quite a lot on Challenge Raiders.
We have gravitated towards them a little bit.
We've done a couple undead. Don't worry, season 3 will start with...
It's right, we've still got the zombie to do.
This is the one day we'll do Halloween month. All undead. I'm saying it now. October's going to be all undead. All 4 episodes at most.
Or October.
October, that could be good too.
There's a lot of orcs in Volos.
Maybe. Anyway, I'm giving it an 18 because I like the Ghost a lot, and you'll see my picture when I'm done, and you'll understand.
I'm looking forward to seeing Norman with the Ghost.
Oh yeah. I got a little twist for you for that. Anyway.
Oh my god.
Ooh,
my god.
Don't try guess things.
I'm not gonna.
No, what number are you gonna give the Ghost?
Okay. Okay. I really do understand your 18. I completely understand it. The storytelling elements and the variety is very, very strong. As a strong choice. And before today, I wouldn't have ranked anywhere near as high, thinking about it this way. But now that I see old Farmer Wilkins in front of me,
all that rich lore,
with his unfinished business and his bag of turnips, I'm going 16. And
nice.
I feel like I regret it in my head, but you've convinced me round, good sir. Convinced me round.
I think the way I think about it is what undead's better. There's a couple undead which I think are better.
There's a couple of undead which might verge on 20s.
But Sam, what number are you going to give?
I was kind of the same in that I do like ghosts when they're pretty cool. I think before we started talking about them, I was more on like the 14, 13, but I think it's more like a 16 as well, which is annoying because No, I'm just copying Neil, but 16
no, you're not. No,
in my
you're
head.
not.
That's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
We're our own people, kids.
It's true.
We are. We're not constructs.
No, well, I am. But that's a different story.
Oh damn!
Oh god!
So that's my guess.
Awesome.
Hey, I did a bad digital painting for the other thing. So
God, is that young Norman?
It's Norman. He's found the helmet.
Oh my god!
He's gonna fail his wisdom save and become 1d4 times 10 years older.
Norman's a boy.
Well, he's younger than he looks, but he's also a half elf. So who knows how?
Who knows? Yeah.
He can live to be like 200.
Oh my god! It's like Bloodborne with the hair.
Yeah, it's really it's really Soulsborne. If I was going to use the gamer speak.
I like ghost designs where it's kind of like a sheet, someone wearing a sheet, but just times 10.
Oh.
And I spent a long time trying to make the helmet not look like it was made out of orange peel. That's my colour.
I think that's really great.
I adore that. That is amazing. I love the rotted sword as well.
Yeah, again, I give everything a sword. I complain about how swords are prevalent in fantasy,
but they are really cool.
But swords are cool, so I give it a sword. And you could easily give a a ghost a sword. I think its strength is very bad, but if you wanted to have a weak ghost and just make it use a sword attack instead of its actual ghost powers.
I like how nastily the sword is as well.
Oh yeah. Again, I think Lord of the Rings probably has had a pretty big influence just on me in general, but also like my tastes. And I think when it comes to fantasy design, Lord of the Rings probably done it better than anyone. Lord of the Rings movies. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah.
I like how the ghost looks like he's missing a head, like the mask is like floating there.
Yeah. Again, that's because in the book Ghost, it's like a decapitated lady, and there's like the neck, and I did a similar thing, but more stylized. I think this is actually based off something I did for university as a proof of concept, an animation I made. I guess I'll put that on screen. A much quicker version.
Oh, I get it. I remember that art now.
Yeah. So a very similar thing.
That's cool.
Yeah, I wanted to take another shot at that, essentially. But I'm very happy with it. It's probably my favourite thing I've done for Chandra. I'm very happy with it. I'm very happy with the helmet, specifically. I'm just going to be zooming in on that for the rest of the video, probably.
That's fair.
I'm very happy with it.
You have just justified my 16 in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Like, I can imagine getting this as like a token or a piece of art to show the players.
It plays into my idea of having a ghost being like a scary thing as opposed to like a generic enemy thing, I think, which is cool. Anyhow, if you've recently died and feel like you haven't completed your goals in life, maybe it's because you've not subscribed.
If you're really good at ghost riding the whip,
no,
press the thumbs up button.
No.
If you didn't stand a ghost of a chance,
okay, I like that.
You can share it with your friends.
I've been wanting to make this joke every single week for the last 4 months, and I always forget. But at the start of the episodes, I keep thinking I want to say draw Monster Arto, but I always forget to say it, which is a real good Yu-Gi-Oh reference. But anyway.
Draw
Monster Arto! There's going to be a break between now and the next Chandrays because this is the end of season 2, so there's going to be a short break when we prep the engines and load up the furnace and put coal in the skillet and stuff for season 3.
We're still growing slow, but we're still growing.
Yeah, it's going to be maybe like a week and a half or something off. I don't know. Maybe there won't even be one. Maybe by the time this happens, it might not even happen. And if that happens, good.
Yes.
Anyway, more stuff.